Good afternoon, everybody. Today we will be discussing the biochemical applications in clinical surgery. So today I have selected a case which I'll give you a summary of. Yeah, this is a summary of the case that we have. It's a 62-year-old female from Thrissur who has come with a history of a yellowish discoloration of the eyes and urine for the last 2 weeks. She also has generalized pruritus, which is itching, generalized itching. She also complains of fever with chills, but this is there only for the last 2 days. On examination, she has jaundice and a tender, smooth hepatomegaly. There are no other masses or free fluid in the abdomen. So this is the problem that we have. So we have a patient who has jaundice with a tender hepatomegaly. There is no palpable gallbladder. She also has fever and chills. Yeah. So now if we analyze each of these, we will start with jaundice. Now jaundice, as all of you know, can be either due to prehepatic causes, like for example hemolytic jaundice, or it could be due to hepatic causes, like for example infective hepatitis, as in viral hepatitis, as in hepatitis A. Or it could be post-hepatic, that is usually due to obstruction to the passage of bile. So the liver is functioning normally and there is no overload, there is no prehepatic cause, but the bile is not going down into the intestine due to an obstruction. Usually that is a cause of a post-hepatic jaundice. Now in this patient, because the jaundice started before the fever, it is unlikely to be an infective cause. That is, it's unlikely to be due to a infective hepatitis or anything like that. It is not a prehepatic cause because the patient is 62-year-old and there are no other features. Now you have to analyze all these features. Probably you'll have to go into some more depth in the history to find out if there is a prehepatic cause. But in this particular patient, we will take it as that there is no prehepatic cause. All right. And like I said, the fever is after the jaundice has started, so it cannot be an infective cause. So in this case, it's most probably a obstructive jaundice. See, I told you there are many other features which I have to take into consideration, which it's not possible to analyze now. Anyway, now the question of fever. I told you fever usually indicates an infection. This patient has fever, but the fever has come after the jaundice, which has been present for almost 2 weeks. So the probable cause of fever in this case is with fever chills, most likely cholangitis, that is infection of the bile. The bile that is collected in the CBD and all that has got infected. That is why the patient has fever. That is how we would analyze this. Now hepatomegaly without gallbladder has a lot of significance in the sense that normally when you have obstructive jaundice, and if the obstruction is distal to the junction of the cystic duct or the common bile duct, you would normally expect the gallbladder to be enlarged, isn't it? Because as you know, if the bile cannot go out, it will go back, isn't it? Bile is being continuously produced by the liver, and there is an obstruction distal to the junction of the cystic duct or the CBD. So the bile cannot go down into the intestine. But so what will happen? It will keep collecting the gallbladder. So the gallbladder will get distended and you can get a palpable gallbladder. That is, now there is something called Courvoisier's law. You will hear of all these things as you go along. Yeah, so in this case that is not there. So it gives you a lot of idea about one thing is for sure, the patient has obstructive jaundice. What the causes, we'll have to find out. Yeah. So clinically, we would suspect an obstructive jaundice with cholangitis. That's how the presentation is. So what are the things that we have to do? The first step is to confirm or rule out, either confirm or rule out obstructive jaundice, for which we have to rely on our biochemistry colleagues. So we will do what is called a liver function test, and we will test the urine for urobilinogen and things like that. So to discuss this further, I will ask our biochemistry colleagues to take over. So they will tell you how to collect the sample, what are the way or tests that you have to do, and the interpretation of these tests. Now, all tests that we do or any examination that we do, there are certain problems that you can face, which will also be discussed. So I'll come back once they have finished discussing the biochemical aspects of diagnosing obstructive jaundice.